President Biden said yesterday he will sign the GOP resolution to block Washington, D.C.'s major revision of criminal sentencing laws. This is the first major win for Republicans in Congress, but also seems to be a sign that Democrats are maybe taking rising crime seriously, as a D.C. bill would reduce penalties for some major crimes in the city, including carjackings. Here to discuss, retired U.S. military intelligence officer assigned to FBI Joint Terrorism Task Force and retired lieutenant from the Nutley, New Jersey Police Department is Steve Rogers. Let me ask you, Steve, it seemed to me that the election in Chicago was a message to people that going soft on crime and seeing crime get worse is not a good thing for politicians. They need to go another direction on crime, and that is actually trying to stop it. And this seemed like legislation in Washington, or bills in Washington, that would make crime even worse.
Well, look, you're absolutely right on your assessment of what this election was all about. And let me add this, that this is a clear message to the Democrat Party across this country. Whether you're a local official or a federal official, your days are numbered. The policies that have been advanced by Democrats across this country have been devastating to the people with regard to crime, with regard to law enforcement. So indeed, you're right. This is a clear message, and they're either going to have to turn the page of their policies or they're going to be out of office.
That's the thing about it, though, Steve, because I've spent a lot of time in Washington. I assume you have also. And the town is like 80% Democrat, right? So it's not like there are going to be Republicans turning out in bigger numbers. It's going to have to be Democrats that actually say when they go to, when they can vote on things. We know D.C. is a little bit different as far as the jurisdiction electorally. But it's going to have to be Democrats realizing those soft on crime policies don't work. Do you think they will?
I believe they will. We've seen enough people across this country, especially where there is a lot of minorities. My goodness, those people have been suffering dearly at the results of these Democrat policies. And I think they're sick and tired of seeing their kids get shot on the way to school or bullied and beaten in school. We could go right down the list of crimes. But yeah, the Democrats are going to wake up. They're going to realize that they are also part of America. And they are a great part of America that needs to join us on the other side. And we come together not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans who want to do what's right for our children and grandchildren moving forward, especially with regard to crime and public safety.
Yeah. What do you think those on the right of the aisle, right side of the aisle, need to do right now to push these policies forward? To be successful in taking office again, but also to get across to people that there are solutions to this. I mean, I always think of Rudy Giuliani. Came into New York and changed the way it was. The broken window policy, holding vandals responsible, because those vandals inevitably, or in many cases, are going to lead to worse crimes. You
nailed it. J.Q. Wilson's broken window policy that Rudy Giuliani instituted in New York. Look, you go after low quality crimes, they say. You see drug dealing on a corner, you make the arrest. Get back to stop and frisk. Get back to asking people to give a good identity of themselves. Look, the civil rights people will be out there screaming and yelling that we're violating First Amendment and this amendment and that amendment. But the safety of people have been violated, the safety of good people. So I believe a return to getting back to the basics of police work. Let the cops do their job, and you know what's going to happen? The crime rate's going to be reduced dramatically.
Yeah, I always feel like members of the community, their voice isn't heard clearly enough when we're worried about those people who are being asked to come so police can talk to them. I understand the constitutional issues. We've talked about them for years, but I think people are getting tired of crime getting worse.
Yes, and they want that. They want to be friendly and work with the police. And I've said that about my own party, Republican Party. We got to kind of do a little better job in messaging and reaching out and bringing many people into our tent, because it's an American tent. Yeah. It's an American problem and an American tent.
Okay, in other news, attorneys for actor Jesse Smollett are appealing the former Empire actor's 2021 hate crime hoax conviction. His attorneys are raising multiple arguments, including that Smollett's prosecution violated his due process rights. Now, there are nuances to that argument that I understand that are specific to his case. But it's just every American who's thinking clearly knows what went on here. And I'm not going to say it clearly because I don't want a litigious guy like that to come after me. But we know what happened.
Well, you're right. Look, at individuals like him may win, we don't know, but may win in the court of law under technicalities. But in the court of public opinion, in the court of corporate America, who may want this individual at one time before all this happened to do endorsements, he's going to lose and he's never going to recover.
Yeah, and I get tired of a guy like him playing victim when he's been convicted of making up this story and then acts like the system is against him and has never had the backbone or the character to come out and explain what really happened.
And probably 99% of America, like you said earlier, who knows what went on, agree with you.
Yeah.
So they could do all the smoke and mirrors they want. At the end of the day, the people are wise to what's going on, and they will be the ones that will make a decision as to the future of people like him.
All right, Steve Rogers, great talking to you. Thank you so much.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, coming up, folks, we're expecting to go live to CPAC.